everything you need to know to go to Sedona, Arizona. All right, let's go. The first thing to know is just a little bit about Sedona. Located 120 miles north of Phoenix, Sedona is famous for its red rocks, its outdoor beauty, its serenity, its rejuvenation properties. This is a big wellness retreat where people come to just get better in all sorts of different ways. The town also has a really big artsy vibe. There's over 100 different galleries in this place. Sedona reminds me a little bit of a ski resort in the desert, but yet it's a high elevation desert. So we're at an elevation of 4,500 feet, and so it's not just sand and nowhere. There's actually lots of trees and lushness that actually make parts of this a forest. Now, it's popular for more things than just hiking. We're certainly gonna talk a lot about hiking as we go through this, but you'll find people mountain biking, playing golf, at their spa retreats. There's tons of shopping, there's tons of restaurants, and so let's go ahead and check out everything Sedona has to offer. But the first thing, still here in the overview, that you should know that Sedona is famous for is the McDonald's with the blue arches. That's right, why does McDonald's have blue arches here? Because Sedona does not allow yellow on signs, and so McDonald's had to make their arches blue. But now if you wonder, how's the food at the McDonald's with the blue arches? The princess says it's yummy. The second thing you need to know is some information to help you get oriented to Sedona. And the first thing you need to know about is the Y. What is the Y? It's not the YMCA. The Y is where State Route 89A and 179 intersect, and really most directions and mileage distances from like how far is it from the center of Sedona start from the Y. Uptown Sedona along State Route 89A is the home to the compact and walkable town center with lots of restaurants and shops. Stop into the official tourist information to pick up your maps. South of Uptown is Gallery Row, home to many of the galleries that are here and to really the main shopping village that we're going to talk about when we're in the shopping section. West Sedona is where you'll find the less artsy and more commercial heart of Sedona. That's where the McDonald's with the blue arches are. You'll find many of the big grocery stores and drug stores there. West Sedona is also home to the airport for small private planes, but it does have a great viewing area, Airport Mesa, that we'll check out in the hiking area. And the Red Rocks of Sedona, these are actually located in an area protected by the National Forest Service, and we'll go ahead and check these out and the most famous rocks as we're in the hiking section. And then finally, not technically part of the city of Sedona, but definitely part of the metropolitan region, is the village of Oak Creek. This town is just to the south of it. It's where many of the hotels are, many of the restaurants are. When you're hiking the Bell Rock, you'll find the hiking trails from there. So consider that part of your Sedona adventure. The third thing to know is about getting into Sedona. And if you're flying into Sedona, then Phoenix Sky Harbor International Airport is going to be the closest major airport to Sedona. It's ranked one of the best airports in the USA, primarily because the sunny weather often leads to on-time flights. It's often known as one of the friendliest airports in the USA too. It is a hub for American Airlines and Southwest Airlines. The drive from Phoenix Airport to Sedona without traffic will take you about 2 hours. If you come on a holiday weekend like us, then it might take you 3.5 hours. So it's a popular place. Do be prepared for some extra time on the drive in. And the good news is if you're driving in from Phoenix, although the drive can be kind of long, it's a pretty easy drive. It's all on well-paved interstates. Just the last little bit is on the 2-lane state highway, but the drive, you know, not on any mountain twisty roads. The next major town is Flagstaff, which is about 30 miles away or 45 minutes to the north. If you're coming in from the Grand Canyon South Rim, that drive is going to take you about 2 hours. If you're coming in from Las Vegas, that drive is going to take you about 4 hours. And if you're coming from Southern California, Los Angeles, San Diego, plan for about 8 hours to get here. Oh, by the way, each one of these scenes I'm going to do in a different part of Sedona. Right now, these first few scenes I've done in the middle of kind of the main Red Rock district. This is on the Little Horse Trail, which we'll talk more about when we get to things to do. So now let's talk about getting around Sedona. The best and worst way to get around Sedona is by driving. Why is it the best and why is it the worst? Well, it's the best because some cool wind things. By the way, you'll see all these wind things all around. Squirrel, the princess is down here spinning these wind. They spin in the wind, but they also spin by hand. Anyway, the best and worst way to get around is by driving because the traffic can be really rough. If you're here when there's not traffic, then driving is great. But when we were here in President's Day weekend, It took us 45 minutes to drive 4 miles around the center of Sedona. So traffic can be heavy and parking can also be rough too. Be prepared to pay for parking wherever you go because many of the hiking trails you have to pay for parking. Some are run by the Forest Service, some are run by the city, so you have like different rates. The Forest Service ones you can buy daily rates and you can buy weekly rates if you're gonna be here longer. And if you don't wanna deal with driving, consider some tours. There are tours that you can take around Sedona. The #1 recommended tour by y'all when I was coming out here and said, what should I do in Sedona, was to take the pink Jeep tours. There are these pink Jeeps that roam around. I didn't take one, but I guess if you take them, you don't have to worry about parking. Now, I think one kind of cool way to get around is actually by bicycling. I've seen a lot of people riding bikes around. There's a lot of big wide bike lanes, a lot of mountain bike paths, and frankly, when the traffic is heavy, it seems like the bikes go faster than the cars. But if you are biking around, note that not all of the trails are open to bicycles. This one right here is closed to bicycles and hang gliders, apparently. If you're gonna be hiking and you're here on the weekends, Thursday through Sunday, some of the trailheads actually close their parking lots and then you have to take a shuttle bus to get there. It's called the Sedona Shuttle. It's free. It goes from 2 different park and ride lots to a few of these different trailheads, so pay attention to the times and the maps to make sure you can actually get there. The 5th thing to know is about the weather, and Sedona, compared to the most of Arizona, actually the weather here is considered pretty mild. The summer's not as hot as the rest of Arizona. The winter's not as cold as places like Flagstaff. We're here in the winter. The daytime highs are around 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Nighttime lows can get to around freezing, but not really much snow in the Sedona area. In the summertime, the high temperatures are about 100 degrees Fahrenheit, which can be about 10 to 15 degrees cooler than those in Phoenix. The nighttime lows in the summertime are around the 60 Fahrenheit. Sedona gets a surprising amount of rain, but I guess it makes sense when you're here looking around and seeing all the greenery. 19 inches of rain here a year, which is twice as much as Phoenix. If you want to come to beat the rains, the least rainy season, April, May, and June. If you want to come to avoid the crowds, July, August, and September. Why? Because it's oppressively hot. I mean, 100 degrees, is that oppressive? I consider it oppressive. I don't know, I'd want to be hiking in that heat, but the least people come in the summer, so if you're avoiding the crowds, summer. Also weekdays, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, that's when you have the least people here. If you want to come when everybody's here, then that's wintertime, December, January, February, March and April through spring break. That's kind of like Sedona's high season. How long should you spend in Sedona? You can certainly do it as a day trip from Phoenix, 2-hour drive, 2 hours back. We were here for 2 days. We didn't even see it all. We want to come back again. So, you know, I'd recommend a good solid 3 days in Sedona. If you like hiking, if you like restaurants, I think that'll be a good trip. Now, OC Girl wanted me to point out one thing about the winter temperatures is that the 60 degrees Fahrenheit can be really deceiving because the desert sun, there's not, like, it's super clear, and so it is really warm on top of these rocks. And 60 degrees, I feel like I could be in shorts and a t-shirt today. I almost regret wearing pants, but I did it because when I looked at the weather, I'm like, nighttime lows, 37 degrees, that's gonna be cold, right? I need pants. I don't know, I think you should bring warm weather clothes if you come here in the winter too. The 6th thing to know is about food, and the first thing you should know about food is there are not many fast food or chain restaurants in Sedona. Most of the places are sit-down table service. If you want to eat at some of the most popular restaurants, particularly for dinner, you need to make a reservation well ahead of time. Think like weeks or even months ahead of time. If you're looking to pack sandwiches for yourself, you will find some supermarkets. There's a Safeway, and there's also a Whole Foods in town. Or maybe if you're cooking for yourself too, you'll find fixins there as well. We were here for a couple of days. I'll share with you some of the things we ate in the couple days while we were here. So first up, we're at Tortas de Fuego. They have a couple locations in Sedona. We're in the one in the village of Oak Creek. And what do they specialize in? Tortas. What do we have here? The Torta Norteña. This one has carne asada, avocado, lots of things on it. They've got like 10 different tortas on the menu. Let's give this one a try. Nice, soft bun. The meats are tasty, tender, and juicy. I like this torta. Now, what's here next to me? Chicken burrito with mole sauce. For some reason, I only have 2 knives right now. So we're gonna cut into this in the middle with our 2 knives and take a look inside this. And if you're wondering, Chris, are you really eating a torta and a burrito? No, OC Girl has the burrito. Let's take a look at that. Some good chicken in there, good mole sauce. Now they've got the thing sufficiently cut. Let's give it a go. I personally like the torta better than this because this mole sauce is quite spicy, but I think Lucy Girl will like it.
For a really unique drink spot, check out the chai spot. This place sells chai tea, cold and iced, and they've got like really interesting place to chill out, especially if you've just woken up from a nap or just here sitting on the floor, like you might in India, drinking our iced chai, which tastes really quite delicious. I'm very happy with this chai. I like chai teas, and I discovered them at the Indian restaurants in London, because I haven't been to India yet. When I get them from Starbucks, they never taste right. They just don't have the right flavors and things like that. But this has a... You can just taste all the spices, and it comes with a cool straw too. You wanna try it? Curious Princess approved.
So now the type of cuisine you definitely need to eat when you're in Sedona is Southwestern cuisine. What's Southwestern cuisine? Well, it's like, you can almost call it fancy fusion Mexican cuisine. What have I got right here? Oh, by the way, where am I? Salt Rock Restaurant. This is at the Amara Resort. This is the shrimp tamal right there. That's an interesting looking tamale. This right here, oh, and what's this? It's a light. I'm gonna point over so you can see it better. This is the elote mac, like mac and cheese with elote and corn. We've got a margarita right here. And then right over here, we've got the pork belly tostadas. And it's all with a great view of the Red Rocks that you see that way in the night and that way in the day. Really beautiful outdoor setting. The vibe and everything of sitting here, super awesome. Oh, and the parking, valet parking, we're complimentary. So that's nice too, because we've suffered with parking around here. All right, so now that it's really dark, I'm holding the light to light up me instead of the food. What's the verdict now that it's done? Super delicious. We really enjoyed the meal. The shrimp tamal was great. The pork belly tostada was great. The margarita is great. The elote mac, kind of weird, but you can't have shining stars for everything. OC Girl definitely says she enjoyed this more than our lunch today. She was super happy with just the pork belly tostada. If you have a small appetite, looking for a place with a good view and good food, this is a good spot. Oh, but definitely make a reservation and don't forget about their free valet parking. The second thing to know about Sedona is about shopping, and with any good touristy town, there's tons of places to shop. There's those 100 galleries that I talked about earlier, but the coolest place to shop is the Talakipaki Arts and Craft Village. Why is this so cool? Well, this place was built 50 years ago to resemble an authentic Mexican village. That's right, the founder of this place toured around Mexico, visited all these villages, and said, I'm gonna build a place just like that here at home in Sedona. And so while there are a bunch of shops and restaurants and galleries in here, what's so unique is it doesn't feel like every other shopping mall. It really feels like a neat village that you're walking around. It is right in the center of uptown Sedona. If you are here to check this out, that's where you'll find the chai spot that I talked about in food. Oh, one final note about shopping though, most of the shops in Sedona close up around 5 or 6 p.m. So you're gonna wanna make sure to plan your shopping for the daytime hours. The probably the coolest store in here, or the warmest store, I don't know, the store that we actually bought something from is the candle shop, Sedona Candle Gallery Incorporated. They hand make all these candles in here. $30, medium-sized candle. Hold this one up, Princess, so they can see it. We got one that has an emoji on it. Like, it's pretty neat just to go inside. They don't let you film inside, which is why we're outside, but they hand make the candles right there, right in front of you. Tons of different designs. If you like candles or you're looking for a unique souvenir, this is the place. And they even box it up for you to make sure it goes home well. Now, if you are looking for some shops that stay open a little bit later, you'll find those on State Route 89, just north of the Y. Some of these shops stay open until 8 p.m. Oak Creek Marketplace has some neat stores in it. Here you'll find the Candle Company we saw earlier, and you'll find this store, which I like, the Made in Arizona store, where everything is made in Arizona. In particular, lots of these cool decorative plates. Now, the 8th thing to know is about where to stay in Sedona, and the good news is that there's hotels for every budget, as long as you're rich. Yes, hotels in Sedona really quite expensive. They range from expensive to really expensive, particularly if you're looking to stay in uptown Sedona, which is probably the most convenient place to stay because that's where you'll find the most restaurants and shops and things like that. But if you wonder, Chris, where are you right now? What does it have to do with hotels? I am in this swing chair along the creek at the Amara Resorts. Hotel nights here, $600 a night, so definitely not cheap. You'll find hotels $1,000 a night in Sedona, easy. And so where should you stay if you're looking to save a little bit of money? We stayed at the Element Sedona in Oak Creek Village, $250 a night, so less than half the price of many of the hotels in Uptown. Was it as amazing as a hotel like this? No, but it was less than half the price. And so if you're looking to save a little bit of money, stay a little bit outside of town, though do plan for some travel time, because you heard me say earlier, it does take a while to get into the city. Would I recommend the Element? Look, it wasn't fantastic. It wasn't this, but it was everything we needed. Free breakfast, big room. Okay, you can check out my full review on that one later, but I would recommend that you do reserve your hotel like well ahead of time if you're coming in the springtime, which is the busiest time of year to come here. I'm gonna say 3 months ahead if you're coming in springtime, probably not early enough. Try 6 months ahead. Sedona's really popular. So you should also know about some of the things to do in Sedona, and I think one of the classic things to do in Sedona is definitely hiking, and there are hikes for all ages, all ranges, so I'll share a few with you. But the first one I'm gonna start with is the Scenic Trail. The Sedona Scenic Trail, sometimes called the Airport Mesa Trail. This one, there are like 8 parking spots that if you're lucky, you can get right by kind of the trailhead. If not, then you can park by the airport. There's a big parking lot there for $3. There's a great view that you can see and take a look out of the view right there. So you'll know you're on the right path because just like a couple minutes past the parking lot, there's a gate, and you might think you're not supposed to go this way, but the sign actually says Sedona View Trail and it says, please close gate to keep deer off airport runway, since this parking lot is right by the airport. All right, and after that gate, it brings you onto the half-mile trail it's actually pretty scenic. Just looking here in the background, it's pretty flat, although it is rocky, so do be paying attention and make sure you've brought some good sturdy footwear with you. So after about a half mile on that trail, it's pretty scenic. There's lots of great views. You get to this viewpoint right here, and at this viewpoint, you can see all of the major rocks in the background, Cathedral Rock, Bell Rock, even a rock over there that's called Snoopy Rock. And this brings us to the site that Google Maps pins as the vortex. And so this sign says here, the vortex, what is it, where is it? And somebody was funny, they left a magnet here that says volcano eruption route. Ha ha ha. But what are vortexes? So let's talk about that for a moment. Vortexes are places of energy. There's different types of energy, masculine energy, feminine energy, but they're believed to bring healing. And so this is what brings a lot of people here to Sedona. Other famous sites with vortexes include the pyramids in Egypt and Machu Picchu. So when you are on these hiking trails, they are sacred to people, including people who believe in the vortexes and the Native Americans. So just tread carefully as you're hiking. And from here, there are 2 trails you can take. One to the right that goes up to the summit, and then a longer one that's an airport loop trail that also cycles around the airport. The summit is definitely worthwhile getting up to because from here you get like 360-degree views. You can see all of the famous rocks even better in all the directions. We also find out this is like the spot to take photos, including wedding photos. It's a popular spot to dance if you're a 4-year-old as well. And if you're trying to figure out what time to come up here, you know what? Sunset, pretty good time because the rocks light up all sorts of golden. Oh, the people who are doing the wedding photos, they have like a drone going to take photos of them, so. Oh, and if you are gonna try to make it to that summit for sunset time, just make sure to allow yourself enough time to like get back to wherever you parked your car. If you're in those 8 spots right at the bottom, easy peasy. If you're at the big parking lot up at the top, you could do what we did. I left OC Girl and the Princess by the summit, and I'm going to get the car and I'll pick them up back there, because it's getting dark pretty quick. So if you're looking for the easiest, flattest trail, those are gonna be the trails right around Bell Rock. And there's a few parking lots that you can park at to get to Bell Rock. There's the Bell Rock Trail. If you can't get to that one, there's a Courthouse Vista. If you can't get to that one, there's Yavapai Vista. If you're looking for then like another flat trail, it's relatively flat, but a little steeper than that one. It connects kind of all the trails along the main route here is the Bell Rock Pathway. And so right now we're actually on the Bell Rock Pathway over at the Little Horse Parking. We did see one person pushing a stroller, although I wouldn't recommend it unless you have the ones with the big inflatable wheels, and also popular for mountain biking over here. One note about hiking and finding your way around here is it's actually really easy to lose your way on the trails here in Sedona. I mean, they're kind of marked and they're kind of signed, but because the vegetation isn't thick, it's easy to just get off the trail. So pro tip, take Google Maps with you, download offline maps so you have tiles, and take a look at it and see where you are and make sure you're on the trail. Right now, the good news is we're on the trail, but if we're off the trail, then I'd know we need to get back on. But now if you haven't experienced anything like us and it's busy, then you might find the parking lots are all full around Bell Rock, and as you continue onwards, we ended up at the Little Horse Trailhead and hiked the Little Horse Trail. And this is a small trail. It connects to a network of trails. Actually, come over here and take a look. The princess, she was actually just building a castle down here. Lots of rocks. She likes the red rocks right here. Oh, and the red dirt, it makes everything red. So if you're wearing like black, expect your black to be red. But if you take a look at this sign, you can see like the trails, they're not big, you know, they're half a mile long, and they connect to lots of other ones. And they're come in 3 types, the green or beginner, the blue or intermediate, and for the diehards, the black diamonds are the advanced. We did it, princess. Advanced. Now I will point out, there's a ton more hikes in Sedona than we're gonna cover in this video because we're here with a 4-year-old. And so all of these hikes, family friendly. If you're looking for the really killer hikes that you need to like rappel or rock climb, it's probably someone else's that isn't here with a 4-year-old. Now, if you are gonna attempt the Bell Rock Trail, note there's 2. There's one that goes around Bell Rock. That's the easy one. There's also another one that's the Bell Rock Climb. That goes up to the top of Bell Rock, and people really quite up there. This one, a bit more technical, so I've seen some people already give up, but not this one. How's the Bell Rock hike so far, princess?
Fun!
Pretty fun, and great views too. It's interesting to see how they put the trail signs around here because it's rock and they can't stick them in the ground. They actually build a bunch of rocks up so that they can stick the trail sign attached to it. But we found the trail signs are a great place to dance, haven't we?
Oh, cheese. Oh, cheese. Oh, cheese. Oh, cheese. Oh, cheese.
Yeah, of the trails we've done in Sedona, this one is definitely the busiest so far. So if you're expecting peace and tranquility, Bell Rock is not where it's at. So we did see a lot of people on the Bell Rock climb turning back, and frankly, we turned back about halfway too. Another kind of like flat trail, if you just want to go around, in addition to the Bell Rock pathway that goes around, is also the Phone Trail. It's a little narrow trail that runs out here from the courthouse vista, but that one is a pretty flat, easy trail too. And the Phone Trail will actually take you up pretty close to Bell Rock too. Now, if you do have to park at the Avapai Vista lot, which is where we walked, you do have to walk down the highway a little bit, cross it before you get to the Bell Rock Trail. I don't know, it takes about 10 minutes. Be careful though. So if your legs are tired of hiking, good news, there's actually a lot more things to do in Sedona. One of them is to visit the Chapel of the Holy Cross. It is this chapel that is literally built like into the mountain, into the hillside. What can you do there? Admire great views of Sedona. Certainly pay respects at the chapel. And you know what? There's a hiking trail that starts there too. Now, if you're driving to and from Phoenix to get into Sedona, then another cool attraction is to check out Montezuma Castle. Yes, this right behind me. It is a 20-story cave dwelling known as Montezuma Castle. This dwelling is nearly 1,000 years old, and it's actually a national monument. So to get in here, you pay $10 per person, over 16 to get in. Hi. And then there's a 1/3 mile loop trail. You come in and then you can see a castle known as Castle A, and then walk back to the car. A nice 30-minute stop. What do you think, princess?
Baba.
Cool castle? Cool. Now, the last thing to know is not just what I think, because you've been listening to me the whole time, but Curious Princess, what do you think? How was Sedona?
Fun!
It was fun. And what do you want them to do now?
Click subscribe and press the red button. Subscribe. Beep.
And you might also enjoy our Phoenix video and our Grand Canyon videos. You'll find links to those on the screen.